Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Armada Village Council. Please stand for the pledge allegiance of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to take the roll, please?
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Dare. Here. Belkey.
Here.
Stirrett.
Here.
Garza. Here.
Okay, you have the agenda before you. Please, I need a motion to approve it.
Make a motion to approve the
No,
agenda as
no, we have
amended.
to add, yeah, but we have to add on, to approve the hiring of Gene Skolowski as police detective for the village for May police.
New business under B.
Yeah, B.
B.
3B.
Okay. Are there any other amendments to the agenda? Now could we have a motion?
Approve the agenda as amended.
Support.
Support by Starrett.
By Shaw.
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 You didn't say anything.
Sorry.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Citizen comment.
Sit up or sitting down?
You know the routine.
Okay. I can project. Trust me, you don't need to project. Kevin Grand, Armada resident. Two things, compliment. Actually glad that it started putting more information in the packet. It's definitely appreciated. We have an idea what's going on. Second question, Mr. Bohorski's here, so maybe he might be able to answer tonight. I'm asking for an update on the snow ordinance. So if someone can touch base on that, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. No presentation, administrative reports. Now, I know some of you guys have handed in a report. Who would like to go first there?
I'll go first.
Okay, Mike.
Mine is short and sweet. We put in a sandbox for the park, a 10 by 10 sandbox. And I noticed at the last concert, there was more kids playing in the sandbox than there was on the place game.
Yeah.
So I think they're enjoying it, which I'm really glad.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Yeah, I tried to incorporate it in with the Build-A-Bear had some extra material, so other than that, and the concerts are all done for the year.
And they were great. It was a good series.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, that does you, Mike?
I'm done. Almost.
You have something, Mr. Terry?
Do I need to add anything from what I put in there, or do I need to?
No,
reiterate
if you want to read it, you can, or you can just, you turned it in.
I submitted mine. I'm good.
Okay,
Nothing
you're
else to
good?
add? Yeah.
Okay. Amy?
This isn't on the agenda, but I just want to update everyone on the Cape Seal project. Coat one of the tar and stones was done last Monday. The second coat of tar and stones was done on Tuesday. I'm hoping maybe next week, the week after, that we can get the final coat on. I don't have the exact date yet. Obviously, we're not doing anything this week. And real quick also, I wanted to tell you that they only used 4 of the manhole risers on Burke Street, so this saved the village about $3,000.
Oh, wonderful.
So I guess Paul wasn't too wrong. He didn't put it in there because I don't think he thought we really needed them, but we just needed them on Burke, so it saves some money.
Good.
Excellent.
Ross?
Okay.
Yeah.
First item up was the kind of an outtake on the water system sanitation survey. I said there that I hadn't received the official report. I got, but I picked up the official report. I'll just maybe go in a little bit more detail at the next meeting. I consider this a good report. We got 2 deficiencies. They're relatively simple deficiencies. In fact, one of them's already fixed. The one that we fixed was an unsecure flapper valve on the back of an outlet pipe at well 7, so that has been capped off. And it alludes to that in the list that they did find it, but that we fixed it. The second one is something that we kind of, I don't know why I didn't think about it. When the fire department was going through, they kind of hit you up for some containment, spill containment issues for some of your chemicals. We've got spill containment for our chlorine. It's the only chemical we use. Spill containment in the water treatment plant chlorine room, but we have drums that we buy to go to the well houses, and the well houses themselves do not really have spill containment. So that was the other issue that they found. It's a relatively inexpensive fix. We've just got to work through the details of taking a scale that's got load cells and trying to put it into a tray that'll capture a leaking chlorine drum. We've never had one to my knowledge, but Eagle would like that. It's interestingly, it wasn't noted in 2019 when we had the last survey, but they continually update their standards. And these are supposed to be assistance visits. We did receive some other recommendations and follow-on actions, relatively easy to take care of. One was a repeat of 2019. For example, they want crash bars on the inside doors of the well houses and stuff like that. Relatively easy to do. That's a priority decision on our part. I only have so much money to spend. I have other priorities. You can clearly get out of them, but they would like increased safety. So at some point we'll put crash bars in there, but that's an example of a recommendation. The ones that we have to really pay attention to are the deficiencies, because there's usually a time limit on those. So we'll get the spill containment trays ordered up as soon as we figure out the sizes and the proper ones to procure. Just for comparison, Wyandotte recently had the same type of study. Now that's a population of 12,000 out there. They use source water, which is out of the lake. So there's some differences, but they received several severe deficiencies, and they were on the news, talking about the water's good, but we've got some other issues with the system. In any case, I view this as a very good report. We've made lots of progress over the years, and we'll get the deficiency, this one existing deficiency, now fixed probably within a month or so, and we'll work on the recommendations and follow-up action. One thing that they did note, which I've always known has been a bit of an issue, I just mentioned it, is paperwork, keeping all the paperwork in one place. So we've moved the paperwork that we had in the file cabinet down at the wastewater treatment plant, where we originally thought all the paperwork would go. Probably makes sense to bring it up here. I will work with Michelle and Becky, because they have record retention requirements for water stuff, looking for things 10 years old that I can't find. I've been doing water for six and a half. So that's the file cabinet that is now in your office, and Becky's already going through stuff, so we'll get that corrected. But that's an example of another recommendation, that we keep all the paperwork together, and in addition to sending things digitally to Eagle on their website, they also want paper copies, so we'll make paper. Anyway, I thought it was a good report. They did a thorough job, and we've come out very well. I know people don't think the water department here is very good sometimes, but we've got a top-notch water department and good quality water. Okay, interior water tower painting and insulation update. The plan is to start right after Labor Day, September 2nd. I'm working with our contractor, our tower contractor, UIS, to sit down and give me some more granularity on the schedule. Starting on 2 September doesn't mean we're going to avoid the water tank out, but at some point we will empty that tank out. It'll be taken offline. I've got to communicate with the fire department, because they need to have a backup plan. And it'll probably be down for a month while we're working on pumps. Something similar to what we did when we had the variable frequency drive installation a year ago or so. Do not have that timeline yet, but I am working on it.
Excuse me, Ross. If the tank is empty, what creates the water pressure?
We run, what we'll primarily do is run pump number 7. Pump number 7 with the variable frequency drive that we installed. We can spin it up to a higher speed so it will meet the needs of the village. We have 6 and 8 as backup pumps for that. We'll try to alternate, but primarily the pressure will be kept up by pump number 7, which will turn on and off based upon demand in the system. So, and we've done it before. It's a fairly standard practice. Personally, I always get a little concerned. We take off the tower, which is what pressurizes the system and makes everything work without pumps. Now we'll use our pumps. I do have in the capital improvement plan that we're going to probably start pulling some pumps and inspecting them the next 3 years to make sure that they're still in good shape. Good question. I've started to, because now we have 2 committees, one working on what do we want the DPW to do in the future, and that's being looked at the same time as we're starting to look at what do we want potentially a future water sewer system operator to do, whether it's F&B or somebody else. And so the discussion is that if we have difficulties finding a DPW superintendent with the skills that we need to manage the village, that we could outsource some of that to a water sewer system operator. They could provide those services potentially. What it costs, we don't know, but the first step in all of that is what do we expect DPW department to do in vis-a-vis what do we, once we've figured that out, then what do we want the water sewer operator to do? So I started to lay out a scheduled straw man because we've got some defined dates. We've already notionally approved, we have approved going out to ask F&V for a 1-year contract extension. We did that because the DPW supervisor, in theory, is going to retire sometime shortly after that, and that's where both of those things come into play. There's no real reason to negotiate a new contract with a water sewer provider when we still got to possibly include DPW work when we've got a DPW superintendent here. So so this gives us about an extra year to start looking at the duties and the responsibilities and how we want to handle that. So long story short, I'll provide just a basic schedule straw man of how everything overlaps and the timing by the next meeting. I did speak with Catherine Wynn. She's the F&B regional manager. She has confirmed that she will attend the meeting on the 8th September. She will probably talk a little bit about the nitrate processing error. She will also probably talk about the potential contract extension. My understanding is they have no issue with doing that, and she will probably officially announce that they're willing to entertain that. She's also confirmed to me that we have received a cost credit, and I've seen it on the invoice for this month's water sewer invoice from F&B for $924.79, which is the cost of the Tier 1 fine that we received and the cost of the office burden, the work of the folks that were here, envelope, postage, that kind of stuff. So so they've taken care of that, and we've received it. An item that's not on here, Michelle, is I'm still looking into it, but we've had some illegal dumping over at well site number 8. This is a wellhead protection area, right? I mean, so the water you contaminate is yours here, right? So who's dumping there, I don't know.
Letters have gone out.
Have they?
Yes.
Okay.
We can set out more.
Okay, and so we're looking at, you know, I don't want to overreact and put up cameras and all that. You know, this is the first time that I've heard of that happening. We do have people that walk through there with their dogs and they jog through there, and I don't want to cut it off to people, but I gotta probably put some kind of barricade up that keeps vehicles from going back there. And so we're looking at a simple cattle gate that we can lock, but I don't want to do anything until I'm sure of the property line back there. I don't want to put something in and then have to take it back out. Anyway, that's something that's it's just happened over the last 4 or 5 days, and I haven't had a chance really to dig into it. So more to follow on.
Yeah,
that.
talk to Becky about that, because she said letters have gone out, so it's been an ongoing problem.
Okay. All right. It's the first I've heard of it. I think it's mostly grass clippings, but they found concrete back there and so on. The trailers back there had been moved to.
Okay.
So they're gone. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any other administration? Yep, go ahead.
Code enforcement. Okay, I have met with the code enforcer a number of times now, even since you and I kind of met. He says he sent letters out for vehicles on grass. There was one on Morrison, one on Fair, one on First, one on Prospect, which is the second letter. Sent a letter for high grass to 2 residents on Fulton, a house on Kroll, 2 houses on Fulton. That he's had a hard time getting a hold of people. An empty lot on Main, and a house on First Street. He sent a letter for the house in disrepair, debris in the yard on Burt. This is the second letter. It was sent to the homeowner, and the son working on cleaning it up, and he's not getting a lot of cooperation there. Sent a letter for the tree that was blocking the traffic, I'm sorry. Sent a letter to the homeowners for high grass and an inoperable car on Burke. A letter was sent regarding retaining wall, at Vickers, Fifth Third Bank. We talked about this at the last meeting. He did get a hold of them, and they confirmed that the barrier belongs to Fifth Third Bank, and they have already called and said that they're getting bids to repair it. He spoke with a homeowner regarding a fence in disrepair on Fulton Street, and it had already been fixed, so he inspected that and he was pleased. And we'd still like to see a posting on requirements for addresses. The planning commission has met with the fire department, the police department. There's 3, what was the other one?
Fire, police? I'm not sure.
Seems like there was 3. Anyway, so that's an ongoing process right now. They're looking for, a universal way to do it so that every one of those addresses are in the same spot on every house. You can't have it on a side door. It can't be like my house, my porch is inset with the door sideways, so you couldn't have it alongside the door. It would have to be on the road facing portion, so that it's visible.
Yeah, facade.
So, and we are actually looking, the fire department said that they were pretty sure that would be something that they would donate the addresses, the address themselves, put on the numbers, put on your doors, or address. And in follow-up to the meeting that Dave and I and the code enforcer had regarding snow removal, we are still looking into options and investigating a few things that we can do as a routine position to do the removal with a possible donations for equipment to accomplish this with a set snow scenario routine. So whoever is the one that's going to do this, volunteers, or we find a way to get donations that where the equipment and the service can be paid for. And it's not gonna be a long-term, you know, a week's worth of work or anything, so. And, you know, set up the snow scenario requirements. If it snows tonight, and you check it after midnight, you're there the next day to plow the snow. So, we're also looking into a way to maybe get, the equipment donated and interview people, see what they think as far as age or disabilities to use the service at no charge. We're hoping that the whole thing can come out at no charge, but I mean, if we got a minimal $2 a month or something, just to pay the wage of whoever the volunteer is that does it, or they get they're paid and not volunteer. But we are looking into school programs, volunteers, donations from the county services to acquire the snow removal equipment, and any community service options where you've got to serve some time to the police division. That's something you could donate your time to and get your community service done for. So, not a real easy process, but we are working on it, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
He's got those, like if he went, like somebody didn't have their snow removed or their grass cut, he got those hanging pamphlets that we have.
I talked to
Door
Becky.
hangers.
Yeah, the door hangers. I talked to
Yeah,
Becky
door
this afternoon.
hangers.
She says she has some, but if we are gonna go with the homeowner still being responsible, we will need more.
Well, it's still the homeowner's responsibility, but if we can help some of them, we want to do it.
Okay.
Okay, the report's done. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. We have a motion.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Old business, none, new business. Item A, to allow payment to Richmond and Romeo police workers doing the fair. Joe?
No, it's me.
Or you? Okay.
We do this every year.
Pay everybody.
Yeah, well, we do this every year.
Yep.
We contract with them. So this is just allowing the payroll department to pay the police officers on the 8/21 payroll. And the distribution will show up on the scheduled bill on 8/25. We do it every year.
We need a motion.
Yep, that's here.
I'm gonna raise that. I'll make a motion that it be resolved to allow the payroll department to pay the police officers for Richmond and Romeo for their fair time on the 8/21/25 payroll. Distribution will appear on the 8/25/25 schedule of bills.
Support.
You need a roll call.
I don't know. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, we'll go with the roll call then.
Shaw.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Cronin.
Yes.
Adair.
Yes.
Belkey.
Yeah.
Stewart.
Yes.
Garzik.
Yes.
Okay. Next item is for part-time police officer Jim Jig. Yeah, I meant.
Okay, this is not an absolute new position. It has a little bit of variation from the last detective sergeant that we had. And Jim has been with us for a long time. He does a great job. He was interested in the position, he's continuing to do that. So we did meet, we reviewed his options, what he needed, what he wanted, what we were prepared to offer. So we came up with a position that's very similar to what Jimmy Sharp's was. Jim Golowski isn't asking for any benefits or anything, he just wants to stay busy and do that job. So he's asking to be appointed to the position of detective sergeant. So In summary, the village president, police commissioner, and chief of police have met with the former part-time police officer James Kowalski to discuss his potential hiring in a new position within the Armada Police Department. The position is for police detective sergeant. Following these discussions, there is a mutual agreement on the material terms for Officer Kowalski to fill the police detective position. The police detective sergeant is a part-time position, working 32 hours a week at an hourly rate of $30 an hour.
1 second, just excuse me. Wasn't it gonna be 24 hours? I mean, I'm glad to have it 32, but I thought we said 24 in that meeting.
Yeah, he did.
We did,
He did, and he said more than
But-
likely it'll be more than that,
Right.
but definitely 24.
so we just capped it at 24, at
32.
32.
But why don't you just say a
24,
minimum of 24, no more
Not
than
to
32,
exceed.
not to
Sure.
exceed?
Not to exceed 32. Yep. So the position, part-time position, working.
And is it police, is it detective sergeant? Because your
Yes.
paperwork only says
Yeah.
detective.
It just only says
Yeah,
that.
that was a mistake as well. So, a minimum of 24 hours.
Not to exceed 32
Not
hours.
I don't wanna put a not to exceed, because there may be weeks it's gonna exceed it. Hopefully not, but why don't we just put a minimum of 24?
Yeah.
Do you have to put hours in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Dave. I mean, it's hard
Okay.
to,
Yeah, like when we had that word.
Okay, so just change the 30 to a minimum of 24 hours. Okay?
I do have a question though. Do we know how that 24 hours is gonna be broken down per shift? I mean, I don't know. We'll cover that, obviously, but I just didn't know.
When we get into the contract.
Yeah, but I just didn't know, was he thinking 3 8-hour days or?
I think that's the intention.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
we don't really split shifts.
Right.
You know, if we don't have
and then
to.
that was where we came into the, up to 32, because depending on what he's working on that particular
Yeah,
week.
so I think I did have a chance to look real quick at Jim Sharp's contract, and he really didn't get into overtime until 40 hours worked within a week, so I don't think we really need to, between 24 and 40, I don't think we really have to worry other than the budgetary concern that
Mhm.
you're burning up more than you thought you would, but I just think the minimum is the way to go. Yeah.
Okay. So, we so that's with a minimum 24 hours a week and an hourly rate of $30 an hour. Recommendations being made by the village president, police commissioner, and chief of police to hire Officer Kowalski as police detective sergeant. A written employment agreement will be prepared documenting the terms of his outline as we've outlined it above. So I would make the motion to resolve to approve the hiring of James Kowalski as police detective sergeant for the Armada Police Department effective August 11th, 2025 at a minimum of 24 hours per week. At $30 per hour, subject to the terms and conditions of an employment agreement approved by the village attorney and signed by the village president and clerk.
Support.
We want a roll call on this?
Yep. Adair,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sturritt,
Yes.
Garzick,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conan.
Yes. Okay. Moving on, no other new business. Upcoming agenda items.
No?
Upcoming agenda items. Okay. Citizen comments. Okay. Council comments.
want to tell Mike Shelley did a great job in concert series this
Yes.
year.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very pleased with.
Yeah,
the
it
Leanne.
was
That
good.
really good.
Soggy Bottom Boys would have been fine in there.
They'll be here next year.
You said that last year,
12 string,
too.
and then we
Yeah.
played last year.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
play last year. I'm purchasing a 12 string, that'll make a little different sound at least, so.
Well, here's an easy one. Community events.
The fair.
Fair.
We got the Armada Fair going this week. Now, do we have anything after that?
Just coming up on the 13th and 14th, 12th and 13th and 14th, I think it's a Saturday, Sunday. The Armada Area Historical Society has a antique and collectible show. Remember, it's related to antiques and collectibles. It's a show us what you got show. Antiques.
Is
Can I br-
is that in our, is
Oh,
that
my
at the fair?
God.
I didn't, knew it was coming.
At the Grange, it'd be at the Grange?
It's at the Grange Hall. It's a free event. We expect it to be bigger than last year. We should have some outdoor exhibits, some potentially old trucks, some Model A's. I know some of the tractors are gonna stick around.
So it's like this weekend?
I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
in September.
Okay.
Oh.
September. And it was October of last year, and October you always get caught with bad weather, so we moved it up. And it's being announced at the East Side A's Model A Club, so we expect some guys to come out. But it gives a chance for the Historical Society to put some of their artifacts out, and then any collectors of antiques and vintage collectibles in the Armada area to show their stuff. Romeo is conducting a barn tour the same weekend, and the icon for the Grange Hall is on their barn tour. So we expect more people. We do have a antique appraiser that's going to be there on Saturday. Bring small antiques, not big ones, and because you got to get it in the Grange Hall, and hopefully we will continue to grow that and make that an event out here in the Armada area in the September timeframe in the future. So that's coming up in about a month.
Okay. No other community events? Okay, then we have no closed session tonight, so could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:32.
Support.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Motion's approved.